Welcome back, everybody. DarkSpyder here, FS22. Another wonderful video for you. Today's video is all about greenhouse gold. It's from seed to the final sale. A lot of people ask me about greenhouses a lot. I see a lot of talking about it. They can be very profitable. And they can make your life easier on the farm, depending on what you're wanting to do. Before we get started, before we get into that, do me a favor, like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button so you know when we're putting out new content. And don't forget, this video has a couple of Easter eggs in it as well. I want to see if anybody catches them. They're not as obscure as the last video, so I'm thinking you guys should pick up on these pretty quick. But let me know in the comments what it is and where it's from. And we'll see how many people, if anybody, catches them. And if you watch to the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to go from, zero to nothing on just fruit greenhouses. Nothing else. We're not worried about the farming or anything else. We're only going to be specific to what we're doing for greenhouses. Now, what do you need? Well, it depends on what you're wanting to do. For me, there's only 2 greenhouses that I'm going to be using. In this video, we're only going to be using one. This one is the fruit greenhouse. So you're going to go in, construction, we're going to go to production, we're going to go to greenhouses. As you can see, there are plenty. There it is, the fruit greenhouse. It does tomatoes, strawberries, lettuce, sugar beets, potatoes, grapes, olives, and cotton. And I've always said, I'm not sure how you get cotton into a trailer, but whatever, I'd take it. Because the cotton is actually really profitable for you. As what I consider quote unquote passive income while I'm trying to do other things. Having 4 of these is plenty. It can be expensive to run, but it's very profitable at the same time. It does require seeds. It requires water, fertilizer, the dry fertilizer, and it does require herbicide. So looking really quick at your greenhouses, this is what they look like. If you haven't seen them, if you're not using them. As you can see, there's some cotton. Looks like grapes. So, they're in here. And, there are several different ways to put these together. Now, on this particular map for this video, I spaced them quite a bit apart. Normally, I won't do that. Normally, I have them really, really close together. But in this video, I just wanted to show you, like, the ins and outs on how to get the most money out of these greenhouses. And so I have 2 trailers set up here. Let's jump in there. Let's back her up. All right, so I've got seed and I've got fertilizer in here. It's not a lot, but each greenhouse takes 100,000 each. So yeah, like I said, it can be kind of expensive. But I'm going to show you a way to where you can become self-efficient on these greenhouses and never buy seed, fertilizer, or herbicide again. I'm going to show you, okay? But anyway, so you're just going to keep these filled up, generally about once a day. But it'll actually produce about 150,000 liters of each product in the greenhouse I say per day, but it's a month, in-game month, but a day. Right now I got speed set to 0.5 because I was building and doing some other things. And as you can see, I was already doing grapes and olives and potatoes. So they're about 4,300. I don't know. I've had these running for about 2 hours, maybe. I think it's about 2,000 hours, 2,000 liters an hour, I suspect. But anyways, and as you can see, it goes pretty fast, even at 0.5, as you can see. But it does. It eats right through the seeds, fertilizer, and herbicide. So you're going to have to keep up on that. But let me show you how to not have to keep buying it. Now, there are a couple different ways. Depends. If you're the realistic player, excuse me. I have a hard time saying realistic in this game and not having a little bit of bile in my throat. Anyways, so, there's several different ways. So one, you can go into your mods, go down into your construction, go to go to containers, excuse me. Now you could do this. So it's the field workstation, and this one's free. Now, this thing's amazing because you can get fertilizer, herbicide, seeds for free. So, I mean, you could do that if you wanted to. I mean, and you're going to be pretty much self-efficient because you don't have to worry about anything. Now, if you're a little bit more like me, where I want to become self-efficient to run these fruit greenhouses and not having to keep coming over, filling them up all the time, because it's about a daily process. I mean, every day you're going to have to come back in here. You're going to have to refill the herbicides. You're going to have to refill the fertilizer. You're going to have to refill the seeds. And then if you don't set everything to, like, let's go into settings. I have everything set to where I want it to go. Let's just go with this one right here. All right. So I've got a great processing production, okay, because obviously it's more profitable to not just sell grapes. It's more profitable to sell everything I can get from grapes. Now, we're going to go one step further with grapes in just a second. We'll get to that in just a second. So then olives, obviously, I have that set to distribute because I have an oil plant. So I'm going to make olive oil, right? Old joke, I guess Popeye called and got mad. But anyways, so then everything else except for potatoes is set to sell. Potatoes, obviously, because I have a potato processing plant. So we're going to distribute those potatoes. And if you also use the silage factory, it also takes potatoes to help make silage. So potatoes can, and I think some biogas plants take potatoes for fuel. So there's all kinds of use for the potatoes. And trust me, 4 of these fruit greenhouses are going to produce enough potatoes for your production, potato production to make potato chips. It's going to make enough to send to the biogas plant. It's going to send enough to the silage. It's going to do plenty with 4 of these, because you're going to get about 150,000 liters per greenhouse per day. So it's not really anything you have to worry about. So think about that. And then I have strawberries, lettuce, tomatoes, and sugar beet for now because I'm not running any sugar. And cotton. Cotton's one of the best profitable options in here besides coffee. Now, I know what you're thinking. Let's put it in a clothing factory because it makes about $12 to $13,000 per 1,000 liters of clothing. The problem I have with the clothing is that it takes far too long to produce. Okay, there's fabric. Go down. Let's find clothing really quick. We'll find it in here eventually. I might have passed it. There's so much stuff in here. But anyways, we'll get back to that in just a second. If you look, so there's no place to sell these, so we're gonna have to put in a sell-all. No big deal there. I'm not worried about that. We're not talking about that right now. Right now, we're just worried about that clothing. But we know that clothing runs on average between $12,000 to $13,000 for every 1,000 liters of clothing. My issue with that, like I said, is it takes far too long to create the clothes. Now, cotton by itself is good money. It is really good money. There's wool. I don't see clothing anywhere for some reason. Am I going too fast and just passing it, guys? I am just not seeing it. Butter, cheese, fabric. There it is, right there. So there it is, 12.5. So, and the highest is 14.9. Okay, but if you go straight to cotton, though, cotton sells really well by itself. 1,900 per 1,000 liters, though, and you're going to produce 150,000 liters a day out of one greenhouse. And I have 4, so that's 600,000 liters of cotton that I'm going to be selling a day, as opposed to waiting to where I'm only going to get maybe 4,000 liters of clothing. So I just set the cotton to sell. The tomatoes, lettuce, everything like that, I don't use it, so I set it to sell. Everything else gets distributed and gets sent over to the said factories. Now, real quick, if you guys want to set up your own and not have to worry about refilling your greenhouses every day, just put in your lime, fertilizer, salt, herbicide, seed production company. And as you can see, this is on 0.5. It's the slowest in the game, and you can just see the numbers just a popping in there. Now, I put in a little high numbers here. I'm going to link a video for you guys to go check out. If you haven't ever seen it, I increased the storage of these buildings probably tenfold. I'll go in the start and I'm going to show you guys the real quick. Here it is. If you look at that storage, that's 2.4 million stone, 2.3 million silage, almost 2 million wheat, 420,000 of water. My point is, though, is that I increased the storage by putting in silos. Now, check out that video. We're going to link it in this one so you guys can check it out. I'm not going to get into that right now. But, guys, you can make a very profitable business. You can be self-efficient using these to feed your greenhouses, have your greenhouses then feed your other productions to make the grape juice, make the grapeseed oil. If you take grapeseed oil and you produce it in your extended oil factory, as you can see here, I'll show you. Come on. I always forget to turn that off. Anyway, so let's go down. So so here's your olive oil. So our olives are coming straight over. They haven't been running long enough yet, but they will distribute. Everybody knows. Grapeseed oil is going to come from the grape factory production that I have right here, the grape processing. And as you can see, I have everything set to sell because I don't need to have any of that just sitting around. Now my grapeseed, I have distributing straight over to the oil plant to make my grapeseed oil. And then grapeseed oil right now I just have storing because it's not even making it yet. But guys, if you do it that way, I promise you, these are going to be very, very good passive incomes. And instead of filling up greenhouses, I always have extra wheat and barley and things like that I can throw into this production to make my seeds. And I also have so many seeds that I never buy seeds for plowing or anything like that. This is how I become self-efficient using fruit greenhouses. Guys, I hope you like this video, and I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget about the Easter eggs. Leave me a comment. I want to see if anybody catches that stuff. But as always, I really appreciate you watching, and until next time, have a good one.